Thank you very much, Honorable Mike Mukura, Mr. Murindo Alan, the Managing Director of SCP Africa, the senior police officers who are here, Mr. Iga and others that you saw, and all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. First, I want to thank Alan and Honorable Mike Mukura and the team that have put this platform and dialogue this afternoon to engage with the private sector on an important issue like counterfeit products in our economy. The private sector is an important stakeholder in our economic management because out of the GDP of 102 trillion, the private sector, government of Uganda, the budget itself, only contributes 32 trillion. So 100 minus 32, remaining is close to 80 trillion, is in the hands of the private sector. So actually the private sector, you are the engine of our economy. And therefore, when we do things without consulting you, we miss the point. And that's the reason why I want to appreciate the organizers of this dialogue for putting us together to reflect on this issue. We are glad that we are here with the chairperson of the ICT committee in the parliament, Honorable Annette, who has just joined us and will be speaking to us on the work that they are doing regarding the fake phones and things like that, and other things that we have talked about, the SIM cards. So Annette, you are very welcome to this dialogue. We are talking about fake goods and inferior goods. Somebody said, why don't you increase the tax? Rather reduce the tax of genuine goods and therefore increase the tax of fake goods. In the first place, fake goods are not supposed to be in our economy. So we cannot legitimize them by increasing tax or reducing tax on genuine goods. The thing that we should do is to make sure that fake goods don't enter into our market. And what is government doing to correct that? One of the things that we are looking at now, which will be implemented in a few months from now, and we have already signed an agreement with a service provider, is digital stamps for URA. So if you're importing goods from China, we put a stamp on the phone or any product you're importing right away from the factory. Not only do we do a stamp for purposes of taxes, but also we work with Uganda Bureau of Standards so that they first verify the product that's of standard, and then we put a stamp, a digital stamp for tax purposes. We think if we did that, which we are going to do in a few months from now because we have finished all the arrangements, then fake goods will be reduced on the market. The other issue is the issue of the bill in Parliament. The good news that we have is that the committee which is handling this has been given 45 days to conclude this item. So we look forward, Honorable Mukura and Alan, that we interact with the Committee of Trade to ensure that the views that we have got from this dialogue, even any other view, you have to put them in the bill so that when the bill is passed by Parliament, at least it's a bill that reflects the views of everybody. We also need to have a policy of harmonization so that we make it very clear. And that's what we are working on for our traders. You don't have to be approached by URA, UNBS, Then IGA also is approaching you. Another one is DPP is approaching you. Another one is, we want to make your life very easy so that you have a one-stop center where all these issues are sorted out. So we are working to ensure that we harmonize all these institutions for purposes of verification, for purposes of taxation, so that our traders, who are actually the engine of our economy, who do contribute a lot to our economy and our treasury, are facilitated to do the work in a proper manner. So that also is coming. The other point I wanted to make before I leave was the issue of the local products. This should be the work of Uganda Bureau of Standards. But the problem that we have also been having is having businessmen and women who are not genuine. Because why should you produce a product that you know is not up to the standard? There are people who have argued that Uganda Bureau of Standards is very bureaucratic, that by the time that you pass through a process, if you start a factory, you take almost 1 year. We are working hard to ensure that, and I hope the Minister of Trade or representative, we had a representative of Trade, UNBS was here. Are they here? Yes, the complaint that we are getting from the traders is that when you start a factory or you want to produce a product, it takes a lot of time through the certification process. That must be reduced so that we don't have to take time, we don't have to give an excuse to some business people to start dodging this process and therefore bringing long products on the market. One of the issues that UNBS has been raising was the issue of resource, the laboratories. We must have more laboratories in the country. And next financial, this financial will give them some little money. Next financial, we're going to add so that we have at least a number of laboratories across the country to help on this issue. So, Honorable Mukula and your team, I just wanted to thank you and also to thank everybody who has spared time to be here so that we discuss this important issue. You do not mind that you are very few. Great things always start with few people. If you see a crowd, a rally, you cannot have good ideas during the rally. It's important that you understand that even if you are 20, 30 people, but as long as you are discussing an important issue, you can actually change the terrain of these products. Because fake products are dangerous to our health. Fake products affect genuine products. They affect business. Fake products have no place in our economy, and fake products should be wiped out from our economy. To do this, we need the support and involvement of everybody. So I want to thank you for coming. Kasita, are you here? Put up your hand. Kasita is not here. But the members of Kasita, the traders, you are all here. So thank you very much for coming. I'm sorry, Mike, I had to come very early to keep time because I'm following the footsteps of late Chiseka, Dr. Samson Chiseka. I was just telling them that one time he was invited to open a hospital, and they told him that it will be opening at 10. We expect at 10. So at 10 he came and he found people cleaning. So he said, where is the ribbon? They gave him a ribbon and a pair of scissors. He cut and said, when they come, tell them that the hospital is already opened. So when you were not here, I was alone in the hall and I made the remarks, the opening remarks. So I'm now making the closing remarks. Thank you very much. God bless you.